This YouTube channel started in Louisiana and it's now back in Louisiana. I moved here from Virginia a few weeks ago. In this video, I want to show you everything that made the move, and I want to introduce you to a new guitar hanger and how that thing wound up here. It's been a long road getting here, literally. It was 1,000 miles. I put out a video recently talking about how I made this ridiculous move from Louisiana to here. I want to show you all of those guitars, and then I'll tell you about what is to come both in this space, on this channel, and I have at least 3 ridiculous guitars that I am so incredibly excited and thankful for. These are guitars that I've already ordered or I'm in the process of ordering, and they're either being made right now or they're gonna be made in the next couple months, and some of them will be here in the beginning of the year. So buckle in. I'm Jeremy, and this is everything that made the move. I didn't actually, not a math guy, I'm a confidence guy. Nope, not a con man. Okay, here's the thing. It doesn't bother me how bad I am at math. It really bothers me how confident I am with certain decisions, but sometimes this is why it works. Look, I literally did not measure this. You might be asking yourself, and you've probably seen it, it's down here. Why am I not using my big walnut guitar rack? Well, I think the big thing is just numbers. Realistically, that thing is a bear. It's very heavy. It's like 80 pounds. Super happy with the guitar rack. So this is the Levy's wall mount system. There are similar ones you've seen. You've seen some from String Swing. I've always used String Swing, and this is I'm trying these out. So these were sent to me from Sweetwater. They wanted me to know. So very quickly, my take so far on this guitar rack system, it is not super user friendly. It asks for you to connect to at least 3 studs per 48-inch section, which is fine, except if you want it to be any place aesthetically. So my complaint so far has been that you have to get either self-tapping screws, which if you're not going into metal, you have to either get drill bits and drill holes and do a lot of measuring, a lot of tinkering. It is not plug and play. I can get 10 guitars on one wall. That's really helpful for me. My collection has to start with acoustic guitars. I love them. They are my favorite thing in the world. They are the thing I will lose sleep over, and I have a collection of acoustic guitars that is just magical to me. I feel so much joy. I walk into this room and I just feel better about life and what's happening, and just, oh gosh. So let's jump into my guitar collection. Now, the #1 guitar that I want to talk about is my Padgett Model One, made by the incomparable Ben Padgett, who now works at Elderly Music. So if you need repairs, he's your freaking guy. He has become such a dear friend over the years since I met him when he was building guitars way out in the middle of nowhere in Monterey, Virginia. And in that video, I held this guitar, just the body, for the first time. I said, oh my gosh, can I own this? And he said, sure, when it's done. And so that was we demoed it. After filming the demo, this guitar came back with me. The Padgett Model One, it is the freaking thing. It is the guitar that I play every day. Now, it's super light. It is. It feels very much like a track car. It's light. It is nimble. It is so wonderful. It's a guitar, I get more compliments on that guitar, just its acoustic tone. This is Engelmann spruce over mahogany back and sides. The rosette is made of anodized blue maple burl, and then it also has cocobolo, and then all of the black lines that you see in the rosette on the guitar are individual strips of ebony. Ben spent so much of his time making that rosette, and it shows. I've considered putting a pickguard on this guitar because it's a French polish, and so it shows lots of wear and dings, but I absolutely, I can't do it. I can't change this guitar. I just love the way it plays and sounds, and it's doing its thing. It's making music. Another prized possession of mine is my Furch Vintage II. I love Furch guitars, and it is because of you, the people that watch these videos, that I even know about Furch guitars. I did a live show, and I said, what brands do I not talk about that you wish I would talk about? And the overwhelming response was, you don't talk about Furch guitars very much. And I had not heard of them. And so I reached out to them. They invited me to an event. I ended up going and spending, it was 9 days in the Czech Republic with Furch guitars. I saw how they're made. I got to connect with the hearts of the people that make these guitars, with Peter and Jane, and they're remarkable. They're incredible guitars. Now, they're very, very modern guitars, and the one that I've fallen in love with, I own 2 of them. The 2 that I love, number 1 is my Furch Vintage II OM. This is the only rosewood guitar I have. It is just warm and punchy, and it's still really bright and articulate. It sounds remarkable. I love this guitar. It was the one guitar. This one stayed out with me until the very end before we moved. I shipped most of my guitars about a month before we moved, but this one, the Vintage II OM and the Little Jane, both hung with me until the very end. The Little Jane was never shipped. It came with me. It was just packed up in a backpack in the back of our truck as we're moving, and that guitar is remarkable. I love how many of my guitars are built by friends. One of my closest friends I've made in the guitar world, behind Ben Padgett and Nathan Wright, we'll talk about Nathan Wright in a bit, but is Rasmus. Is a young builder, lives in the Netherlands. He's amazing. He just called me earlier today. Rasmus, I'm sorry. I was getting ready to film this. I will call you back. I promise. I'm sorry. But Rasmus built my 00018. This is a shade top, pyramid bridge, slotted headstock, 12 fret, spruce top over mahogany back and sides. Unbelievable fingerstyle monster with a gigantic neck, because I told him I want just the biggest V neck you can make, and he did such a great job. He was 17 when he built this guitar, and it is insane to me how good it is, how well it plays, the quality of the craftsmanship. This is a guitar that I could not imagine a world that I didn't own this guitar, and so it had to come with me. It's just that good, that special. It sounds great. It is so wonderful and thick and punchy. One of the guitars I mourn losing was my Waterloo WLS. And so when we built this one, I really wanted to take some cues and some vibes from that guitar. So this is thick and articulate on those beefy single notes on the high strings. Just a remarkable guitar. Martin guitars are the reason I got into acoustic guitars. I obsessed over Martin guitars. Starting at 14 years old. I would have my parents, if we went on vacation, they would go to the beach, I would find a guitar shop, and I would just say, just leave me here until you're done at the beach. Because I don't like the beach, but I freaking love acoustic guitars. And so I would stay at guitar shops for hours and hours. I'm sure the dudes that worked there loved it. But I would hang out and I'd play every Martin they would let me play. And I'm very thankful that like Mars Music in Virginia Beach let me play real D28s, HD28s, D35s. I think I played a D41 at one point. And those guitars just changed my life. And so I own what I consider to be the absolute best Martin that they are currently making. I have an authentic Martin D18. This guitar is so stunning, so beautiful, accurately and faithfully, reverently reissued. It is a new guitar that has the soul of an 80-year-old man. And I feel like I have the soul of an 80-year-old man as well. So this guitar feels so exciting. Now, I will say, this is the guitar I've probably bonded with the least, just because it has the vintage tone system, it has all the relicking, but it's still, I haven't found the right set of strings for it. I haven't found, I don't know, I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I want to love this guitar, and I want to love the tone of this guitar. And it's, right now, it is just still a little tight. You can see this picture up above my head. I have wanted, chased, obsessed, in addition to Martin acoustics, but I have loved Gibson acoustics from the 40s and 50s. I had a guitar for years that I played. Probably the guitar I've still played the most. I was playing out, this is crazy, I played out 6 nights a week for 7 years. just between doing like ministry stuff, church stuff, young life stuff, and then playing out open mics and playing in bands with friends. I played out 6 nights a week doing some kind of music in front of some person or some group of people. And that guitar was a 1961 Gibson J50. Now, when life got hard and we had babies and I was self-employed and, you know, it was rough times, I had to sell that guitar. I don't know where it went. I sold it to somebody in Seattle and then it is just gone. And so that's a guitar that I loved, did not want to sell, but I knew it was the right thing to take care of my family. And I just trusted that one day the stars would align for me to get another one. So in 2023, the stars aligned for me to get that one. So this is a 1957 Gibson Country Western. It is a salvage title. It's been refinished, it's been played, but it sounds, I have compared it to every country Western I can get my hands on, and this one sounds better. It just has that spunky, spongy, punchy, super thick, high treble string thing that just is amazing. I took it to Casino Guitars, and Baxter, not kidding, Baxter, when we turned off the camera, which the whole premise of that video was, hey, what would you pay for this? After we filmed the video, Baxter and Derek both said, hey, but for real, would you sell that guitar? I was like, no, I love this guitar. It's with me. So this one has a Holter pickguard. We swapped tuners with Stu Mack because they had the aged correct tulip tuners. Dan Britton got me a new label for the back of this guitar so that it would have the country western sticker inside. This guitar is a collaboration of friends who love this era, 40s, 50s, 60s of Gibson acoustic guitars. And so to me, this is bar none the freaking coolest. One of the best couple months of my life was the 2 months that I got to spend most days with Steve Showalter and Joyce Wenger. Joyce is now married. Her name is something different, but Joyce and Steve with Showalter Guitars. I got to build a quarter sawn Sycamore top Osage orange back and sides guitar, and I got to spend time with Steve, hear from him, learn how to build a guitar. Now, I will be the first one to own up to, we were making a YouTube series. I was building the guitar, but still Steve did so much work. He probably did more work because we were filming than, anyway, this is all covering up an insecurity that I didn't do as much as I thought I would with this guitar. I did sand a hole through the side. If you haven't seen that, you should go watch those videos. But this is my OM from Showalter Guitars, made by dear friends using tone woods that came from the Shenandoah Valley. It is so exciting and wonderful. Now, this guitar is unorthodox. It doesn't sound like a whole lot of other guitars. It is the punchiest guitar I've ever heard. It doesn't have as much sustain, but it is, if you care about guitars, it sounds so unique and exciting and different. This is like, imagine if you're into coffee, this is like, sure, you got Brazilian and Colombian and Guatemalan. You got all these like kind of predictable, like, sure, that could be your daily drinker coffee. But this is like the Burundi or the Bali or like the like funky weird stuff. So to me, this guitar is so eclectic and interesting, and it just is great. So every now and then when I'm really kind of stuck in a rut and I feel like I've heard every riff and everything, because I have a lot of mahogany guitars, I play stuff on this and it just opens up. It feels very effervescent and just different and funky and weird. I mean, this is the kombucha of guitars. At the end of my life, I'm going to think back to some of the best times of my life, and it was those crispy mornings in the fall of 2022 when I was building a guitar with Steve Showalter. Some of my favorite memories. So sweet, so good. There was also a terrible day that I sanded through the side of a guitar. Steve told me I had heavy hands, which I do, but man, we figured it out. We put a patch of Virginia by my heart. Electric guitars. The first guitar that hit the wall was my Guild S200. I've owned this guitar 3 times. I've tried to sell it. I've made money each time. And each time I've bought it back, I got it cheaper than I got it the last time. So this was the start of the Dream Guitar Challenge a couple years ago. And I got it and I regretted the fact that I bought it to sell. And so as soon as that deal was over, I threw in my own money and I bought it from the guy when he was ready to sell it. The modern guilds are so cool. People sleep on them. Not a lot of people are paying attention to them, but it has great Gibson hardware. It feels very Gibson-ish. Feels like an SG, and I typically really don't like SGs, but the Thunderbird is funky and weird, and I get it. It is not for everybody. It's probably not for most people because it's just such a goofy, weird shape, but I love that thing. and it sounds awesome. Sounds like a really powerful, badass Tele. It's not aggressive or bitey, but it's just a little more than a Telecaster. My 1986 Pink Paisley Tele is kind of the guitar that started this YouTube channel. I bought it from a guy in Baton Rouge, and he went on and started Baton Rouge Music Exchange. But I love that guitar. I saw it played for a long time in the French Quarter before I ended up being able to buy it. And it is so cool. I have changed so many parts and pieces, not the ones that count, but the ones that you can change back. If anyone ever wants it to be original, it can be original again. But this is a 1986 Pink Paisley Tele made in Japan by Fender for Fender. And this guitar, I have swapped the pickups and the control plate and the tuners. And all of those, it's Goto reissue tuners. It is Seymour Duncan Antiquity. I forget what, it's the flat pole pieces in that one. And then I just recently swapped out to a 4-way switch and all Emerson, CTS, all the good stuff inside. And then I went ahead and I dropped the big boy money and I bought the Callum control plate, the super knurled knobs, and it is just a straight up twangy rock and roll machine. I absolutely adore Telecasters, and so one of my most prized possessions is my Rich Allen vintage guitar. And so this is a Blackguard from Rich. He built this, I think in 2017 or 18. I got it in 21, I think. And but this guitar, as soon as I played it, I was like, this is the freaking thing. This is the Blackguard that I have hoped for, wanted, dreamed of. And so when the opportunity to own it came up, Rich jumped on that and just made sure that I got that guitar. So I love this thing. That's where I first fell in love with the Callum hardware. It's so gnarly and wonderful. And Rich has done such an amazing job relicking this body. So it's a Mario Martin Alder Ash, I don't know, Ash body. It's super light, and it has really beautiful relicking and checking on it. The neck has tons of playwear. Now this is a relic. This is a new guitar that is looking like an old guitar, but it feels like a beautiful old guitar. But one of the things that Rich does with his guitars is he uses a compensated nut. You still have the 3 saddles like a traditional aesthetic of a Telecaster, but you get that compensated intonation on that nut. It makes for the best sounding, most usable, most exciting Telecaster. If you need a custom, amazing Telecaster, please check out Rich. He is a dear friend. We text and talk all the time, and he is just the man, and that guitar rules. Another guitar that is here for now, maybe not forever, is my PRS SC245. I just got a screaming deal on this guitar, and I've wanted a Les Paul-ish thing. I am trying to like Les Pauls or that style of guitar. Shorter scale length, maple cap, set neck, mahogany back and sides. And so this PRS entered my world because my friend Elliot at Wonder Records had it, and I made a deal on it, got it, super excited about that, and then I swapped in, I had some Mythos humbuckers with one of the Mythos treble bleeds, and it has made for a really, really fun sounding electric guitar. I do want to say thank you to Sweetwater, thank you to Levy's for this guitar rack. When I started making YouTube videos, I didn't plan on doing reviews, but COVID happened, the world changed, and in the summer of 2020, I got an email from Fender, and I couldn't believe it. So Fender wanted to send me an American Professional 2 Stratocaster in Miami Blue, and they said, hey, we're gonna pay you a chunk of money. I think they said they're gonna pay me $500 to make a video, and I would just get to review this guitar and put a video on my YouTube channel. It was the first time I'd ever really reviewed anything. Now, I'd done a couple, like, I was tacking towards it, but nothing at this level. And so it was, yeah, it meant so much. It changed my life. It changed the course of this YouTube channel. And so in a guitar that I have to bring with me is my American Pro 2 from Fender. This guitar, it's funny. There's so many things I did wrong in that video, and it's hard to not lead with that. Like, the guitar wasn't in tune very well in that video, and then they didn't send me a spec sheet. So I didn't know that there was the push to add the neck pickup into the bridge position. Didn't know that. Should have known that. Know it now. Knew it within a couple hours of the video coming out and seeing everyone else be like, this is the coolest feature. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I had no idea. But this guitar is so exciting. I love Strats. They're not the guitar that I would lead with. But to me, a Strat neck pickup with a floating trim is one of my favorite spacey, ambient-y kind of tones. And so this guitar is so special to me. Sure, I could own much better Strats, but that Strat shows how hard I worked to make this YouTube channel grow, and that there are other people. It's not just me. It's not just me hoping that this thing works out, that brands have seen something in me that was worth supporting and taking care of. So what I first thought was that they're going to pay me $500 and I'm going to send this guitar back. I didn't think I had enough sway or clout. I didn't even consider that they would just let me have the guitar afterwards. I sent an email saying, hey, I'm done with my video. I'm done with the guitar. I've kept it very clean so that it can be sold. So it can go back to you and be a demo or whatever. And he just didn't answer me, the guy from Fender. I was like, oh, that's weird. So maybe a week later, I sent another email like, hey, just didn't know if you saw my email, but I'm done with the guitar. You can send me a label to return it. And he sent me an email back and said, the review is great. I know that you love it. Hope you enjoy it for a long time. It's yours. Oh, gosh. So I have many things. Nostalgic is one of the main in the recipe of who I am. So I had to bring this guitar. It is so wonderful and so exciting. My first electric guitar is still with me. I've changed every part and piece. It's a 2002, 2003 Fender Tom DeLonge. It is badass, super fun. I refinished the neck, put a Fender decal on it. It has a bunch of stickers, has a big red star on it, which, I don't know, it's a red star. It means nothing, like many things when you're 14, because I was also in a band that had an anarchy symbol on it. Didn't know what anarchy was, but then when I did know what it was, I thought it was funny that we were a band of anarchists. Before I even started YouTube, I made friends with a guy named Evan Dowie who makes rude guitars. I don't think he's making guitars at this point. We've lost touch a little bit, but Evan is the man. He makes amazing guitars. He was the first person I knew kind of making cool what-if kind of Fender-style guitars. And so when I first was starting, I had a guitar shop before I did YouTube. When I first started doing YouTube videos and had this guitar shop, I was selling some guitars for him. He was, at first, doing really cool stuff with like Pecky Cypress and Sinker Cypress, very Louisiana things. And then he switched gears into really cool stuff that I was just thought was so interesting and so cool. And along the way, I helped him sell a bunch of these guitars. And he said, hey, I'd like to build a guitar for you. And if you want, you can make some YouTube videos about it. Little did he know, that guitar has been with me the whole time. It's been in so many videos. I've played it on so many videos. It is my Rude Revelator. I don't think that's officially the name, but this is his semi-hollow. This guitar is a cut telly bridge. It is a Carina body, which is really cool, and has a transparent white finish, has the flamiest maple neck, and it has my favorite thing any of my kids has ever done as far as vandalism goes. One of my kids, when she was little, she stuck a unicorn sticker to the back of the headstock. And then a couple minutes later, she's like, I want the sticker back. And so she took it, and when she peeled it off, it tore, and it just left a unicorn butt on the back of my guitar. It's my favorite thing. I want it to be on there forever. I want to include that on more things. I just want to inlay a unicorn butt. It's so good and so fun. I have a guitar that's tagging along for now. I don't think it'll be here forever, but it did make the move with me. And that is my brand new Fender Player 2 Jaguar. I love that guitar. It plays great. It sounds really fun. The tremolo is fun. And of course, there are plenty of parts you could change. But that's the amazing thing about a Player series from Fender. They're great. They're such a great canvas. You can turn them into whatever you need them to be. So the Jag is here to stay. The last thing that made the move with me is my Octave mandolin from Bourgeois. This thing is a prototype, doesn't even exist, and it's just super fun, and I've played this a bunch. I found myself the last couple months in Virginia. I was playing guitar at church, or playing music in church, but everyone plays guitar, and so we started needing other people to branch out into other directions. So the last handful of times I ended up playing, probably 6 or 7 times, I ended up playing Octave mandolin. This is an octave lower than a normal mandolin. It is deep and rich and punchy, and it's so remarkable. Now, this one doesn't have the low end and bass. I'm hoping that one day it'll really open up, but it also could just be that it's an A shape and it just isn't gonna have that low, rich bass that I would hope. It's more from a guitar-shaped octave mandolin, but this one is exceptional. Adirondack spruce top, and then on the back and sides are roasted maple. Really beautiful, exceptional guitar or instrument. And yeah, it's one of one. I don't think another one exists. Doesn't exist anywhere. The biggest part of my collection that really needed taming was amplifiers and PAs and acoustic guitar amps. So what I brought with me, I brought 4 amps and 2 PA systems. Now, the amps that I brought, number 1 is the amp I use every single day. It is the most helpful tool and I love it, and it was sponsored content, but now it's just a thing that I love. That's the Fender Tone Master Deluxe. I use this thing every day. I think it sounds excellent and accurate. I really love how it sounds and how usable it is. I love tube amps and I love handmade things, and so my Tyler Amps JT22 is an absolute essential for me. Now, I don't use this nearly as much as I did a couple months ago, but I'm also brand new here to the studio and all those things. So this amp is so wonderful and spongy and clear and chimey, and gosh, it is so perfect. It is all the things that I wish. It's such a beautiful blend of what a Princeton does and what a Deluxe Reverb does. It has tons of headroom, it's really clean, and so the older I get, the less distortion I use. And so it's just cleaner, less overdrive, or just at the edge of breakup. And I just love that amp. It is beautiful, and I love the zombie tweed finish. It's so beautiful to look at. I have very few pieces of gear that are in the absolutely never sell, they will always be with me, they have to stay around, I can't sell them, is this amplifier. So this is a Montgomery Ward. It's a Valco amp. There's no brand on it, but it was made by Valco in the 1940s. This one belonged to Warren, who owned the Guitar and Amp Center, a vintage guitar shop in Virginia that I worked for years and years. It is the last of the things that I own that is just from him. And so I have regretted, as I've gotten older, I've regretted selling so many of the things that reminded me of such a formative time. People ask me all the time how I learned so much about guitars, and it is because of Warren. It's because of working in that shop and just being thrown to the lions to just figure it out and learn stuff and just obsess about guitars and to have just an endless resource. So for me, this amp is amazing. Now, this amp has a lot of problems. I can't get it sorted. I'm looking for an amp tech. It's lost a lot of power and volume. It sounds very fizzy. It's not very exciting sounding right now. I love the look. They look like KT88s, but they're just big Coke bottle 6L6s. We've swapped out all the tubes. I had Elliot from Wonder Records fix all the cold solder joints, and I don't know what's going on. It still just isn't quite right. So there are a couple amp repair techs that I'm looking into in South Louisiana that, I mean, this is a precious thing to me, so I can't take it to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. But if you know of somebody in South Louisiana that can fix old, like 1940s tube amps, let me know, because it's a thing that I want to keep. Now, the last amp that did make the move with me, I don't think it's a forever piece of gear, but it's a for now piece of gear, is the PRS Archon. This is an amazingly cool, chuggy, modern metal amplifier, and it's one of the ways I try to keep myself fresh as a player is just pushing myself into breaking new ground, into trying things I haven't tried or trying things that I haven't done in a long time. So I like chuggy metal. I love pop punk. And so for me, emo and pop punk, that's where I spend a lot of time just playing around. I love the head and cabinet combo. The 112 cabinet is so light, and this amplifier is a real winner. And yeah, I think PRS, I think people are sleeping on their amps. I mean, their amps are really, really good. So this is everything that made the move. Now, not everything that is going to be in this room is in this room yet. There are 3 guitars that are coming. Number 1, the Swamp Thing is coming. I am commissioning a full carbon fiber guitar that can endure all of the ridiculousness and crazy humidity that South Louisiana has to offer. That is coming from Emerald Guitars. I'm about to film a video where I order that guitar. And so the Swamp Thing is coming. If you like carbon fiber, if you like modern guitars, that thing's going to rule. And it is one of the places, one of the holes that I have in my guitar collection. Guitar number 2 that is coming, which is imminent. It is inbound. It is getting strings on it and bridge pins today in McMinnville, Tennessee. That is the Nathan Wright, my slope shoulder, maple back and sides, beautiful dark small burst top, natural back and sides. This is the guitar that it's going to be one of the last pieces that I need to do all of the musical things that I want to do. Thumpy, really powerful single strings, warm, articulate bass. So Martin bracing on the bass side, Gibson bracing on the treble side. This guitar I'm going to absolutely just grow old with. So excited about that. The third guitar And basically the final guitar I'm going to order for this iteration of my guitar life and my guitar collection is a Boucher. Now I'm kind of torn between two different models. There's a Grand Reserve 12 fret that was just announced. I'm gonna have one come to me in November, and that guitar is amazing. It's a beautiful slot head, incredible Adirondack spruce top. Either that or their Heritage Goose, the HG56. I'm really torn, but I'm working with Guillaume, and ever since I spent a week in Canada with the guys at Boucher, I've just known that that's a guitar that I want to own. So that will completely fill me up. But tell me what you think about this video. Tell me what you think about all of the guitars that you saw. If you were hanging out here, which guitar would you want to play? Which guitar should I talk more about? And yeah, thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy, this is Guitar Hunter, and I'm so thankful that we are in it together, that together we are filling the world with music and friendship. If you want to support the channel, there are a couple things you can do. Number one, like, subscribe, share this video with your guitar playing friends. That's really, really helpful. I want to get the channel to 100,000 subscribers. Number two, I offer resources and courses if you want help, if you need advice calls. All those things can be found in the description down below and on jeremytheguitarhunter.com. We can jump on a phone call. We can talk about guitars. You can pick my brain and ask for advice. I also have a buyer's guide on there that's being refreshed right now. I also have a course. If you want to learn how to buy guitars that are the right guitars, sell the wrong guitars, and get the most money back out of them, and end up with a collection like what I have that feels like you, represents you, check that out. So that is, there's a link in the description down below for the teachable Guitar Hunter. It's called Reg Guitars Faster. Check that out. The last thing, merch. Easy, fun, super exciting. There's always cool merch in the Guitar Hunter shop. So jeremytheguitarhunter.com/shop. Buy some merch. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Man, it's good being together.